So the reviews for The Last of Us Part 2 are in, and it seems that that user score is really destroying the critic score right now because, the user score, that's actually the score that tells the real story. How fans really feel, as opposed to the critic score where you have game journalists shill, for companies that pay them for good reviews. So, now that the user score is up, we can finally see how people really feel about this game. Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. So, we finally get those user score reviews. It's not looking very good for The Last of Us Part 2, Naughty Dog, and Sweeney. And, it all makes so much sense, because with all the leaks that have been going on, everybody knew this game was going to be a disaster. And of course, you have the shill media that is out there trying to defend this game, saying, oh, it's a masterpiece, it's the best thing ever. But by the looks of that user score, fans seem to feel otherwise. And, think of this is why a lot of people go to user score reviews over critic reviews, because, you're going to get the full story of what people really think, as opposed to these game journalists, because all they're going to do is shill. And we know that. That's how they are. That's why people don't trust game journalists. And when you look at it, currently there's 9,147 people that have already thrown in negative reviews. They are completely ratioing the positive reviews, and we're also going to look at the neutral ones. So, that's the big thing, because, also journalists are trying to blame these bad reviews on them being bots. Yeah, I doubt that. It sounds like The Last Jedi all over again. It really does. This review contains spoilers. So I got the game early and played it. I read or saw no spoilers before the release. I never do. So here is what I think. Pros: gameplay, graphics, atmosphere, sound, music. All those parts are undeniable very good. It's top notch. Sure, the controls sometimes feel weird, but they do in most of the games. It would be unfair to say this game isn't up to date in terms of those points I mentioned. Cons: story, character design, character development, and plot holes. Now, I've heard that the controls have been a bit weird when it comes to jumping, like how you can only jump within certain points, so it does seem a bit useless. But when you look at the cons here, the story, character design, character development, and plot holes, that's never a good sign. And considering how they've really seemed to botch this story up, ruin a lot of the characters acting completely out of character, that's not good. And development not going well, that's never a good thing either. And you definitely don't want to see plot holes in your story. Definitely not. Honestly, the It's a SJW game isn't even the reason everyone is so upset. It's that Naughty Dog ruined such beloved characters and created a terrible story in the process that makes this game unbearable to even finish. Oh, yeah, that's rough. The only good thing about this game is the graphics, but I wouldn't even say that's a compliment because we already expected them to be good. Just stick with the first game. Now, you see, when you ruin characters and, you make a terrible story, that's bad when it becomes unbearable to even finish. And with this person stating that it's that bad and they're saying to stick with the first game, that is never a good sign. But I think everybody expected this once the leaks came out. It breaks my heart to write this, but I really did not expect such a poor story after all these years of waiting. While there were a few genuinely good moments, majority of game filled up with plot holes. It just took elements of what worked for the first game without understanding what made them compelling. It seems like the game was done by other studio, but it's not. The base gameplay has stayed the same, for better or worse. Environments, puzzles are almost gone. So remove story from the table, and you are left with the shallow gameplay that will have you looking for some other game. Oh, redirecting to another game. Oh, that's never good. It's never good at all. This game is not bad because of SJWs. This game has poor, contrived writing that is trying to prove a point. It is forced and unconvincing. In addition, you have gameplay from 2013 and NPCs that speed up and slow down like GTA 5 in 2013. Oh, that's never good. I remember others complaining RD, R2, Red Dead Redemption 2, and 2018 was behind the times. I wonder what those people think about The Last of Us Part 2. Well, clearly, people think The Last of Us Part 2 is trash because, these reviews are really telling. These reviews are very well telling you the story of how people feel about this game and their experience of it. And, Neil Druckmann has screwed up severely, and having plot holes as well as inserting what seems to be his own personal weird fetish game here. Yeah, nobody cares about this. And Anita Sarkeesian, anytime she gets involved in anything, it becomes poison. So, Neil Cuckman over here, having to try to simp for Anita, this didn't result well, and you can clearly tell. People are upset, and you have destroyed what was, at one time, a beautiful game franchise for many people. And I mean, the first game, it's brilliant. It's an excellent game, But then when you destroy characters that people love, like Ellie and Joel, which are two great characters, you destroy those characters, you make them act out a character, you add in plot holes here because your story is so terribly written. I mean, people aren't going to enjoy it. And then when you push your own agendas as well into a game, that's not going to help either. But destroying a once beloved franchise, writing terrible stories, destroying characters, these are things that will ruin a game series for people. And people are understandably upset and frustrated over this. I completely get it. I mean, Last of Us was a good game. And now Last of Us 2 just totally destroys the franchise. I mean, it's just sad to see a good franchise just completely collapse. It's depressing. Wow, just wow. Did you know revenge is bad? No? Well, this game will take 25 hours of your life just to tell you that, in fact, it is. Naughty Dog just went full The Last Jedi on this one. Oh. See, that's terrible. When it's being compared to The Last Jedi, you know it's awful. That's bad. Besides, the story, gameplay is completely copy and paste from the last one, with a bit more exploration, and well, now you can jump only where the game wants you to, so it's basically useless. Yeah, that sounds like a useless function then. Graphics and animations are very impressive, but if you remember Star Wars Battlefront, that's not enough to sell a game. Good point. Best of all, IGN gave it a 10 out of 10 and calls it a masterpiece. In my opinion, The Last of Us 2 feels like The Last of Us 1, but with its soul completely ripped out, thus leaving it behind as just another mediocre game. Yeah, that's pretty much what this is. It's a game that wasn't made to be fun, as Neil Druckmann stated. He said that when creating this game, we don't use the word fun. Yeah, that's never a good sign when you have to say that a game, when making it, it was not fun. Yeah, that's not what people want. They want a fun game. It's kind of the point. But, leave it to Sweeney, leave it to Naughty Dog, leave it to Neil Druckmann. Leave it to Neil Druckmann to completely ruin a beloved franchise. Not surprised. Not surprised at all. This game is a living statement that money doesn't solve all problems. Graphics, great, truly impressive. Story, trash. Character development, trash. Character relationship development, trash. Gameplay, straight out of 2013. And honestly, all these critics who gave the game a 10 out of 10 are shooting themselves in the foot. Oh yeah, no, that's true. Because this is just going to make more people not want to trust game journalists, because it goes to prove that these game journalists, they're not really gamers. They don't care about these games. I mean, people have known that for a long time, but this goes to further show that they are not gamers and that they don't care. If it has the political message that they're looking for, then oh yeah, it's going to get a good review. If it doesn't, oh no, it's terrible, it's horrible, why was this game ever made? That's the way they look at it. They don't really look at it for the story or the characters or the gameplay. That's not what's important to them. It's the message. That's the whole important thing to them, is does it fit our narrative or not? That's what they look for. Now, when you look at some of these neutral reviews, though, this is what people were saying. So this is a 5. This person said, I live in New Zealand. After playing through the game, I simply cannot understand how this name received a 95 out of 100 meta score. Positives, gameplay, graphics, top tier animation cutscenes, and voice acting. Negatives, character development, it's non-existent. Oh, that's not good when there's no character development there. When it's non-existent. That's bad. Plot, the ending, and that ending is trash. I've seen the game. I've seen the whole thing. It is terrible. It is absolutely abysmal. The writing destroys this game. The writer, Neil Druckmann, say this game is about hate and revenge. However, you never get revenge. You're left with a game which is anticlimactic. Oh. As we already knew before this game came out when the game was leaked, Neil Druckmann, you have just completely failed. Completely failed. The last game was so good. The Last of Us, part 1. So good. People love that game. People loved Ellie. People loved Joel. Great characters. Great story. And it's fantastic. But then, when you just do this, you throw in plot holes. You make characters like Ellie and Joel that people have loved. And you make them unlikable. You've most definitely ruined the characters and failed your audience. Not only that, but then when you make a golf pro that has a mad golf swing come in there and take out a character that everybody loves, oh, you've ruined it. But then to make things worse, self-inserting your own self into the game to be a pretty big character from what it seemed, and having that, certain spicy scene with the golf pro, yeah, that ain't looking too good. And not only that, but after all of the things that you've done in terms of going and copyright striking people wrongfully, illegally, which the media, game journalists, they don't want to bring up. They don't want to talk about it. They completely defend you. You have Sony, you have Naughty Dog going around, even going so far as to hit Reddit posts as well as DMCA Twitter accounts. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd. And, I don't see how anybody would really ever want to, at this point, support Naughty Dog, support Sony again because of what you've done here. I mean, you've ruined a franchise that people absolutely adore. You completely ruined it. And I mean, these scores are telling. They really tell you how people feel about this and what you've done. I mean, you have effectively destroyed this franchise, as well as your own reputation. I mean, you abuse copyright systems to silence people, try to remove their videos, and even get some YouTube channels terminated, as well as Twitter accounts suspended, and even Reddit posts removed. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. So you have ruined your reputations, Naughty Dog and Neil Druckmann. But anyways, let me know what you think about this entire situation down below. Subscribe to the channel if you were new here, and make sure you were still subscribed because YouTube is unsubscribing people from all their favorite channels. So make sure you were still subscribed to all your favorite channels. Hit the video with a like, and also be sure to share the video on social media, spread the word, and get it out there. It's greatly appreciated, and it really helps out the channel a lot. Also, be sure to follow me on Discord. We have a wonderful community there. Not only that, but it will keep you up to date on when the newest videos will be released, as well as any other upcoming events in the near future. So be sure to follow me on Discord. The link is in the description down below. But anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today. And remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow could always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you. And have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.